Hello. Little different setup today. Carol, good morning. Lynn, good morning. Aaron, good morning. Great. So happy to have you here. I do have a different setup today. I think you can tell, right? I changed things around. For today's practice, I want to use a wall. So I shifted so that I would have access to a wall. And I'd like to give you the opportunity now to either find a wall that you can put your legs up against or to have the back of a chair. So the back of a sofa would be great, or even a big chair that's in your space. I'm even going to say a coffee table or something where there's legs where you could put a foot up against the leg of the surface so that we could get this more structural aspect to the body. So let's ooh, 1 second. Let's see. So go get all your stuff, get yourself next to I'm still here. Get yourself next to a wall or a chair. So wherever you are, as long as you have something to put your foot up against, so like this, even a leg of a coffee table will work if you could do that. And then if you have this larger surface, to be able to put both feet up to get that nice angle of the ankle joint for what it is we're going to do. And then you're going to need a block. For those that have wrist issues, the wedges are very helpful when we come onto all fours. If we come onto all fours in the practice, I just wanted to show you that. So depending on what you're doing, the times that you do come onto all fours where you're weight bearing in your hands, having the wedge will be very supportive. We're going to need a blanket for today's practice and a strap for today's practice. So go ahead and gather whatever it is you need, the block, the strap, the blanket. Put those props off to the side. And we will begin today with our legs up the surface that we're going to use. So if you have a wall, it will go up against the wall. Or if you have the back of a sofa or a chair or something, that will work as well. And not to get caught up in what it is you're using. Yoga is about the shapes that our body takes and trying to increase the functionality and the range of motion in the joints by strengthening muscles, and stretching the tissues of the body. So I'm going to show you items or props or whatever, and then don't get caught up in exactly if it has to be perfect or not. So to begin with the legs, so to put up the legs at the wall, I like to begin with one buttock touching the wall or whatever it is I'm going to come up. So if one buttock touches the wall, then you're going to turn your body to face the floor. So my hands are on the floor, my tushy's up against the wall. And this, there's a rotational aspect in the body. So maybe you're going to notice some tightness here before you even get down. You could come all the way down onto the ground and then bring your body up. Now, it does not matter if you're touching the surface, and that's where people get stuck, thinking that they have to be touching, that their tushy has to be touching the wall, and it doesn't, because what it really will come down to is your range of motion in your body, your flexibility in the backs of your legs that will enable this to happen. Maybe for you, the legs are up the back of the sofa or up the chair, whatever it is. And then take your arms into the floor, lift your upper body off the floor so your shoulder blades slide onto your back. And then you can push your legs into the wall a little bit, lift your tushy up, let your spine be nice and long here. And then this is also a great place to get some postural aspects and some deep stretching in the shoulders, which I'm finding to be a huge issue with many, is this deep tightness that's being developed in our spine and our shoulders. And if we do not address it and keep moving, we eventually stick together. So it starts to fuse together. The minerals in the body fuse. and make that less mobile. So let your arms be alongside your body. The elbows are down by your waist. Then you're going to take your hands and you're going to slide your hands towards the floor and then come back. This is rotator cuff muscles. I just want you to notice what you notice without judgment. I'd like you to close your eyes and notice one side versus the other. Where do you feel the tightness coming into your body when you do this? Do you feel it at the back of the shoulder? Do you feel it in the shoulder joint? Do you feel it? Where do you feel it? Match your breath with the movement. Inhale to bring your arms open. Exhale, let your hands come back. You're in a total place of observation in your body. And then take your chest, your heart and chest area, push it up towards the sky. So you add a little bit of spinal extension, starting to stretch that upper chest area, and see if that affects the movement capabilities of your body when you do this. Inhale. I'd also like you to notice other things, especially like the ears, the face, the head. Notice if there's any movement, if you feel any popping or movement in the ears or in the upper or in the neck area. So this helps to remove congestion and increase flow in the head, neck, upper back. And the next time you come open, let's stay there. Slide our arms all the way out so that the arms are reaching away from you. And don't have them too high. Go ahead and relax the muscles of the torso. So we were pushing the heart up towards the sky, adding some spinal tension. Now I'd like you to let your torso go so that your rib cage is moving towards the floor with gravity. Now I'd like you to let your torso go so that your rib cage is moving towards the floor with gravity. The arms are out to the side, and notice here if you feel a stretch anywhere. And then take your hands, open your hands all the way so that the fingernails touch the floor. Backs of the hands touch the floor. Bring your awareness to your neck. Make your neck nice and long. Lift your head off the floor. Tuck your chin down towards your chest. And then place your head back down on the floor. Maybe you notice something happening there. Notice what you notice. Tucking the chin down towards your chest. Back of the neck is nice and long. So bring your awareness to where you feel some stretching, what you feel in your body. Become very body aware. This is how you'll help yourself heal and stay strong and healthy in your body, by having a lot of body awareness on what you need to work on and where you need to keep that mobility, maintain that mobility in your body. Then bring your awareness to your legs, wherever they are. And let's reach one leg up towards the ceiling at a time. Flex your foot. If you're up against the wall, you could slide your heels on the wall as you move one leg up the wall at a time. This is stretching muscles of the pelvis and our connective tissue. The pelvis has a lot of ligaments because there's a lot of bones. So the tissue of holding the bones together. And then come to a static hold. Let the legs be heavy. Now we're going to do something, maybe some of you will be able to find this in your body, maybe not. I want you to push one tushy cheek, the center of the buttock, towards the wall or the chair or whatever you're resting on. One at a time. So you'll feel your waist getting a little bit longer on one side. Keep the pelvis on the floor. So keep your sacrum on the floor and feel yourself swivel as one side of the buttock goes towards the floor. May be hard for you to find this. See if you can. So think about the center of your buttock, close your eyes, and push the center of the buttock towards the wall. This is part of pelvic movement, the way the pelvis moves. And this is a way to keep everything mobile. And then bring yourself back to a center position. Now your sacrum is in the floor. Feel your sacrum in the floor. Your tailbone is at the end of your body, closer to the wall, and then you have the top edge of your pelvis. Let's do a little movement, posterior, anterior. Inhale. As you exhale, push your top edge of your pelvis towards the floor, flatten the low back into the floor, and the tailbone points up the wall or the surface you're resting on. Inhale to come back to a neutral position. Low back moves away from the floor. Tushy stays on the floor. Exhale, push the low back to the floor and the top of the pelvis to the floor. Inhale. Exhale. And then bring yourself back to a neutral position. Let's take the arms and bend the elbows now so that you could be in a scarecrow arm position. A little bit more stretching in the upper body, lengthen the back of the neck. And then closing your mouth, let the back teeth separate. Let's go and start to warm up the spine, the rib cage, the muscles of respiration, the lungs, the diaphragm, the main muscle of respiration. So begin to bring your awareness to your breath. See if you can notice if the breath is equal, both sides of the lungs, both sides of the torso. Now breathe into your lungs on the left side of your body. So breathe in through your nose into the left lung. So you feel movement all the way down to your diaphragm, all the way out to the side, and all the way up towards your head on the left side of the lung. If you direct your breath, if you follow it in with your mind, you may be able to feel this happening. And then take your left palm. So right now your palms are open. I want you to make a fist with your left hand and leave your right palm open. And breathe to the left lobe, the left lung. Now let's switch. Go back to both hands are open. Try to breathe to the right lobe, the right side of the body. And then go ahead and make a fist with the right hand. Left palm, leave the right palm, closed. Close the right palm, make a fist with the right palm, leave the left hand open. Breathe to the right lobe, see if that assists in directing the breath to the right lobe. Take one more breath. Bring your awareness back to both lobes, breathing into both lobes of your lungs. Feel the downward movement and the sides and the up and the down. Up, down, sides, front, back movement of the lungs. And then for these last few breaths, move your arms overhead if you can to a place that you feel an even deeper stretch if that's available for you in your body. If you push your heart up towards the sky, you add a little bit of spinal extension, you may have more access to stretch the upper body somehow, especially for those of you that have a lot of tightness in the upper back neck area from a lot of sitting. For these last few breaths, let's start to move the cervical spine, which is the neck. Inhale. As you exhale, let your head roll towards one direction. The whole exhale. And then as you inhale, come back up to center. As you exhale, let your head roll in the opposite direction. And inhale back up to center. Let's start to make this mobile. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, let your arms go down alongside your body. Keep your elbows bent, so let the elbows come closer to the waist. Inhale to let your arms move towards up overhead. Maybe you're able to let the fingers touch. Maybe you're not able to go that high. It doesn't matter what range of motion you get in your body. Work with whatever you have. Exhale down, inhale up. Starting to soften up muscles of posture and alignment, muscles of the shoulder girdle, getting the arms to move independently of the body. This is actually a different part of your skeleton. The shoulders, clavicles, and arm bones are a different part of the skeleton, and we're laying on our shoulder blades. So you're actually able to get some more shoulder mobility by moving like this. I'd like you to feel and notice what's happening in your body. Any range of motion you can do is okay. Don't get caught up with, oh no, I can't raise my arms high, or oh no, I can't touch my fingers above the head. It doesn't matter. You're never going to be able to do it if you don't start moving. And this is a way to isolate that movement. So if you do have limitations in your shoulder range of motion, I recommend you lie down on the ground, you lock your shoulder blades into place, and you start moving your arms in whatever way your body will do to try to keep that mobility in your body. Bring your arms back down to the floor. Let's do a little bit with the legs here and the feet. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. If you'd like to open your eyes, you can open your eyes. And then take your feet or your legs, spread them hip distance. Let's inhale to point the toes. Try to touch the wall or whatever you're up against. And then exhale, strong flexion. Inhale strongly. I want you to feel deep stretching happening in your ankles and then maybe at the back of the body, all the way down to the tushy. I'd like you to feel that. So you're not just barely doing this. You're working on the maximum range of motion in the ankle joint. So we were up at the shoulders. Now we're going all the way down to the feet and the ankles. Because guess what? The tightness in the shoulders may be coming from the feet. Or the lack of balance in your feet may be coming from tight shoulders and neck. So let's soften and loosen everything to keep you mobile and transmittive. All right, come back to center. Let's inhale to open. So you try to touch the pinky toes to the wall. And then exhale, try to touch the big toes towards each other or towards the wall. You can let your feet even wider here. Inhale to open. Exhale, toes are towards each other. Inhale. Notice, is it easier to go open? That's your external rotators working. And then when you bring your feet together, do both sides move equally? For those of you with hip replacements, or especially if you only have one, notice how fluid that dang hip replacement is and how much tighter the natural hip can be. A ceramic ball is going to have more freedom of motion than an upper leg bone with all those muscles. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take the legs really wide here, as wide as you can. Having a wall or a chair or something to support your legs helps us to feel safe to go a little wider. So find whatever is the appropriate range of motion for you. If you're not up against something and you're going here with your body, sometimes taking the arms or the hands to support the legs. So if you weren't up against the wall and you wanted to go into this wide leg position, if you could get this far, having the elbows on the floor can help to support the weight of the legs. And then when you're up against the wall, it's nice to go more passive with that stretch. And for some, you could go deeper when you go passive. So do what's appropriate for you. A few more breaths here. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together. The pinky toe edges are on the wall. Slide the heels down closer to the tushy. Keep the soles of the feet together. And then push the knees towards the wall with your muscles, not with your hands. I'm not a big fan of using your hands to accentuate stretching. And that's partly because this external rotation position here with forward flexion is how I tore my hip, which led to a hip replacement. And it wasn't actually me that did it. It was a person that pushed me. So I don't like pushing the body. I want the body to find its safe range of motion. So that's my guidance for you. And of course, you do you. You listen to you. Stretching those inner thighs. If you like to do a little rocking action here, keeping that body mobile so that everything can freely flow. All right. We're going to come into the leg stretching. So if you are able to, you might need to go to your side, or you may be able to push yourself away from the wall, or bend your knees, lift your body up and move yourself away so that when you lay yourself down and you make your legs straight, that you have both of your feet up against a surface. So and if you're using a coffee table and you only have one leg to press up against, that's okay. We're going to stretch the right leg first. So let's push the feet into the floor. Turn your pelvis into a posterior tilt. So if you pick your tushy up and you point your tailbone away from you, that'll put the sacrum onto the floor, and then come into your straight leg position. Blanket behind your head. Let's go ahead and bend the right leg. Hold on behind the leg. Let's do a little inhale and exhale. to unbend the knee. Inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. Try to go as big in your range of motion in that knee joint as possible. If you want a little bit more work, take your hand away from your leg. Try to be as linear as possible. So when you unbend, I like you to see the big toe edge more than the inner heel. That's more of a nice aligned total leg. And then the center of the heel is reaching up towards the sky. Let's come up and stay up. You're either holding underneath, you're trying to go towards straight, foot is up towards the sky, foot's in flexion. And then let's do our strap. So let's go ahead and grab your strap, bend your leg, bring your knee close to your body. So you're going to notice I'm putting you in a more linear fashion here with you up against the wall. So your range of motion is going to be different than it usually is. Can you touch the toes of the right foot with the right hand? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. For some of you, you may be easier to touch with the left. See if it's just as easy to touch with the right. Okay, we need to be able to get dressed every day. That's important. And then I want you to place the strap on your right foot, right where the arch is. So your left leg is against the wall. Don't let that leave from the wall. And your strap is in your right foot. Hands are going to come down the strap. We're going to take the hands around the strap and you're going to deeply root that right leg in the pelvis. May feel pretty intense. Push the left leg into the floor and into the wall. Pull that right leg down. Try to keep the knee straight because this will help to pull on the pelvis and strengthen your pelvis. So this is going to stretch muscles and it's going to strengthen bones. Take an inhale. Firm up that right leg. Push that right leg towards the wall and now guide the right leg back towards the wall behind you. Look at your foot. You should see the big toe edge, but not necessarily the inner heel. So try to see the ankle joint, but not so much the heel. And then draw that leg back, push the leg away from you towards the wall, push the left leg towards the floor and into the wall. Deep stretch here. Strengthening, lengthening, and then go ahead and release. Let's take the strap into the right hand. Take the strap into the right hand. Hold on to the strap. Slide your hand down the strap. Push the left leg into the wall. And then you're going to take the left hand out to the side and lengthen that right leg out to the side. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen until you can't go any farther. Push the left leg into the wall. Keep that left tushy cheek on the floor. Right leg is active. Push into the arch part of the right leg, the arch part, and then keep the right waist long. Leg is moving up towards the wall behind you, and the left leg is pushing into the wall. Feel that deep stretch in your inner thigh. And then bring yourself back up to center. Let's take the strap in the left hand. So you're on the right leg, strap is in the left hand. Keep the leg right above your pelvis, right hand out towards the side. And then you're going to guide the right leg straight. So don't bend the ankle, don't bend the foot. Try to keep the sole straight up towards the sky. Yikes. I want you to feel a pretty intense stretch here on the external rotators and the iliotibial band. Keep the left leg on the floor and against the wall. For those of you with hip replacements, posterior hip replacements, be in your body to feel what feels appropriate. For some of you, I'd even say don't go pretty intense. Like, this is not my hip replacement side. I'll be much more careful on the other side. So I want you to be in your body. For those of you that can go a little farther, really stretching the heck out of that. And then if you want to go where you roll onto your left side, keep your left foot into the to the wall, or you could turn your left foot to face the left. Okay, so pretty deep stretch on that posterior and lateral chain. I wouldn't do this with a hip replacement if it's posterior. I have a posterior hip on the other side, so I don't do this on the other side. Even though my physician said it's okay, I really wonder if he knows what I'm doing. Because if you don't practice this level of intensity with stretching, you're not really fully aware of what exactly is happening. Take one more breath and then bring yourself back up to center. Keep that left foot on the wall. Take your hand on the strap. Pull one side of the strap and then the other, stretching your ankle. Push the left leg into the floor and against the wall, side to side. So if you're not up against the wall, remember that left foot could be pushing into the leg of a coffee table or a chair that doesn't move, some kind of surface. It gives us more access, and you'll probably notice your range of motion is a little bit less when you do this. And that just shows you how the body, I don't want to say the word cheats, but how we actually, other things compensate for movement in one area. All right, bring your awareness or your strap and your awareness to the widest part of your foot, and then wrap your hand around the strap so you're pretty low, like right about your knee. And then you're gonna inhale to bend, slight bend. I'm not doing this, right? You're inhaling to bend your knee, inhale, exhale to straighten. Pull the strap hard, it'll be pretty intense on the calf. Inhale to bend, ooh, exhale to straighten. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Inhale, exhale, one more. And then stay here straight, 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 straight. And then go ahead and release. Let's take the strap off, take the right leg straight. Both legs are straight, close your eyes, put the strap to the side. Bring your awareness to your right sole of your foot, to your right ankle, your right calf, your right upper leg. Feel the right foot on the wall. Push the right heel into the wall. Now bring your awareness to your left leg. Left sole of the foot, left ankle, left leg. See if you notice a difference in terms of energy flow. So tingling. Notice if one leg feels longer, one leg feels heavier, one leg feels softer, whatever that is, notice it. Typically when I share this whole sequence, people will notice that the leg that they just worked feels longer or heavier. It feels more expansive and you actually feel it. And then the other leg, you're not quite feeling very much. All right, press the right leg into the floor, draw the left leg in, hold on behind the left thigh. You're gonna inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. Inhale and exhale. And then notice what you notice here on this leg. Even though you have two legs, they're not the same. Each side of the body is different. If you wanted a little bit more work and adding a little bit more core work to this, you could take the leg away. Notice how your leg tracks. Notice how the knee joint moves. See if you could see the inner edge of the heel. Come and stay to the held position. Keep the knee close to straight or straight. Push the right foot into the floor and into the wall for stabilization. Contract your core. And then let's bend that leg. Let's take the strap. Draw that foot in to see if you could touch it with the right hand. Maybe a little easier to touch the leg with the right hand. And then see if you can touch it with the left. Push the right leg in when you do this. And then we're going to take strap. And noticing if you feel differences. This is my side of my body that has a hip replacement. So there's parts of my body that communication is not the same as it is on this side. Very interesting for me. All right, Take the strap to the arch of the foot, bring your hands down, wrap your hands around, get a nice firm hold. Straighten that leg. I would like you to move this with a straight leg. So for some of you, you may be here because that's the only place you could get straight. And then you're pulling back, that's okay. Wherever you are with that straight leg is fine. I'd like us to strengthen bones while we're at it. And I'd like us to strengthen the pelvis because 50% of us are going to have a fracture because of osteoporosis. And the most precarious, by the time we're around 80, that's a statistic from the National Osteoporosis Foundation. That's legitimate statistic. So let's strengthen our bones while we stretch our muscles. Push your right leg into the wall. Pull the strap down so you feel that deeply rooted aspect of your left leg. Firm up the muscles of the left leg. Push the left leg towards the wall and then draw the left leg towards the wall behind you with as much intensity as you could stand. Look at your left foot, sole of the foot is towards the ceiling, and you don't see the inner edge of the heel, you see the ankle joint, nice and linear. Push that right leg into the floor, that'll help. Deep breaths, firm up that left leg. And then let's go ahead and soften. We're gonna come out to the side with that leg. So take your hand in the strap, slide your hand down, wrap your hand around, elbows to the side, take your right arm out to the side, push the right leg into the wall. Let's inhale and move that left leg out to the side. Keep the right leg stable. Elbow can help you support the weight of the leg here. Feel that inner thigh stretch. Keep that right side deeply rooted. Draw that left leg up towards the wall behind you. Last breath. And then bring yourself back up. Let's take the strap now in the right hand and get a nice hold here. Keep your leg right above your body. Remember, if you have a posterior hip replacement, so your slice, your incision is on the side of your body near your tushy or the side, that will be an indicator. We're going to guide our leg over towards the right. Now notice where you feel the intensity. Be in your body. Push your right leg into the wall. Moving over towards the right. Feel whatever range of motion feels okay for you here in your body. Push into the strap. Keep your left waist nice and long. Body's always trying to protect, moving away from discomfort and potential injury. Now, for those of you that want to go more intense, I won't on this side. I'm going to bend my leg because this is my hip replacement side, and this is the action that's really counterindicated for me. So move your leg over to the side or all the way over to the side if you'd like. And then for those with a hip replacement, bending the knee may be better and maybe even supporting the weight of the leg so the knee doesn't go across the body to the right. For those of you that can, keep your legs straight, stretch that side of your body, keep your waist nice and long. Deep breaths here. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to a neutral position. Come back. We're going to go to the calf now. So you're going to bring your strap to the widest part of your foot, the awareness and the strap. Bring your hands, hold on to that strap. Remember the bend here is a very slight bend. So you're going to inhale to bend the knee. Exhale, push the heel up towards the sky, straighten the knee. Inhale to bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Last one. Stay here. And then go ahead, take the strap off, straighten both legs. Take your arms overhead, push your feet into the floor, and then flex your wrists. So bend your wrists like this, like you're holding a tray above your head. If you were standing up, you'd be palms flat on a tray that's facing up towards the sky. The palms would be up towards the sky. Push the legs into the wall, reach your arms nice and long, stretch your body glove. And then let's take your knees, bend your knees. Let's go into core so we can support that structure. We're keeping really nice stabilization, muscles of the pelvis, working ourselves in a nice alignment when we use the wall. So the blanket is behind your head. Lift your head up. Put a block between your knees. Put your feet where they go. Take your hands behind your head. Elbows are out to the sides. You're going to squeeze your block. Let's warm up the spine with spinal undulation. So when you inhale, push your bottom into the floor so your pelvis stays on the floor and your low back moves away from the floor. Try to lift the lower ribs away from the floor and the tushy stays on the floor. You're not lifting your tushy away from the floor. You're lifting your spine away from the floor. And then when you exhale, you push your spine to the floor, flatten the low back, and then inhale, lift the rib cage away from the floor, keep the tushy on the floor, squeeze the block, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Warming up the back, warming up the spine. Now we're going to use the upper body. Inhale, let the low back come away, push the arms into the floor. As you exhale, lift the upper body off the floor as you squeeze the block, flatten the low back. Arms are out to the side if you have osteoporosis, and if you don't, bring the elbows towards each other, bring the chin towards the chest, add flexion to the upper spine and neck. Inhale to add extension or a back bend as you come all the way down. Push your elbows into the floor, push your pelvis into the floor, squeeze your block. Exhale to rise, inhale to rise. Sorry, come back to center. Inhale. Now exhale to rise. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. Inhale to lower. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, stay up. If you have osteoporosis, your arms are out to the side, you're squeezing your block, you're keeping your body up. And if you do not have osteoporosis, chin is to the chest, elbows are towards each other. Stay in this flexion position, push your low back into the floor, both sides. Let the top of the pelvis touch the floor. Take one more inhale, and then exhale to lower. Elbows are to the side, inhale. As you exhale, firm up your core, keep your right elbow on the floor, lift your body up, and bring your left elbow to point over to the right. Inhale to lower. With osteoporosis, as you exhale to lift the right elbow up, keep the right elbow up pretty high as you move it over towards the left. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. So the more you add flexion, which is chin coming towards the chest and elbow going towards the knees, that's okay if you do not have osteoporosis. If you have osteoporosis, I want you to keep a very open upper body and let your elbow stay pretty high so it's more about rotation and not introducing flexion into the spine. Probably better for all of us actually to learn that. So for these next couple, Keep your face and your heart open as you exhale to rise. Bring your elbow over with a relatively open chest without adding that rounding in the upper spine. Exhale over. Inhale to lower. Last one, each side. Bring yourself all the way down. Take the block out to the side. Bring the knees into the chest. Rock on the low back. We're going to bring ourselves closer to the wall for this last core exercise. So if you dig your elbows in like an inchworm, become an inchworm. Come closer to the wall so that you can put your feet up on whatever the surface is you have, a chair, a wall, the back of a sofa, and then bring your blanket with you. You'll need your blanket for this. So your legs are up against the wall, the feet are flat. I'd like you to be really linear here. So there's a 90-degree angle in your ankle, a 90-degree angle in your knee. Your feet are hip distance. Let those femur bones, that big bone, let it sink deeply into the hips. Let that hip joint be nice and deeply relaxed. That reminds me, for those that have arthritis or issues in the hips and the knees, doing this kind of work here is moving those joints without weight. So it's a great way to bring lubrication in there. And then a lot of the stretching we're doing, there's either a strengthening or stretching aspects. It's very supportive for joint health, what we're doing today, which is going to help you move more, which is going to help keep the body mobile and strong. So this is all good. Feet are on the floor. Now I'd like you to flatten the low back into the floor. So the top edge of the pelvis and the low back are pressing into the floor. The hands are down alongside your body, lengthen your neck. Zipper up your midsection. So for core contraction, there's a lift from down below. That's pelvic floor activation. There's a movement around from the sides. That's activating those external rotators. And then the diaphragm takes the lower ribs down closer to the spine. That's core activation. So activate your core and then let the feet come away from the floor, from the wall, just about an inch. You could use your hands to help you here. Keep the low back pressing into the floor. Low ribs are moving towards the spine. And then let's take the arms up towards the sky. Press that middle spine, press that lower spine. And then let's put the legs back up against the wall. Allow all that relaxation to come into the body. So we're going to support that flexion in the spine. Let's begin by activating the pelvic floor. So it's an inward and upward action of pelvic floor. And then you have a corset action supporting your entire midsection. And then low ribs are pressing towards the spine. Low back's pressing into the floor. Top edge of the pelvis in the floor. Bring your arms up. Push your middle spine, your upper spine, the rib cage into the floor. And then 1 inch. Let's take 3 breaths here. Put your feet back up against the wall to rest. We're doing my breath. My breath might be a little slower than yours. You may have gone beyond 3. The stabilization work we're doing today is really great for alignment, for posture, which will help with balance, which will help with fall prevention or reduction, which will help with quality of life, which is exactly what we want. Hands are up towards the sky. Activate the spine, pressing the spine into the floor. Activate your core, and then legs float away from the floor, 3 breaths, or away from the wall. And then bring your feet up against the wall. Draw your knees into your body, side to side with your legs, your body. Let your hands and arms go up. Flop, flop, flop. Let everything settle, 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 settle. And then let's do a bridge pose while we're here, strengthening our back. Take your blanket away from the back of the head. Let your toes touch your wall. You could actually, let's leave the block out of it. All right. No, let's leave the block. Take the block. This is a way to help with herniated discs in the back of the body, so that lower lumbar area. So you're going to activate by squeezing the block strongly. So really squeeze the block like crazy. And then activate your core by so you can press the low back into the floor, getting that posterior tilt. Arms are down alongside your body. Move the blanket away from you. Lengthen the back of your neck. Dig your elbows into the floor. Slide the shoulder blades closer towards each other so you have that upper body support. And then you keep your arms here. Squeeze the block, flatten the low back. Let's peel the body away from the floor, trying to direct your knees towards the wall. Lift the rib cage away from the floor. You could slide your shoulder blades closer towards each other. The weight is in the upper back, and then push the shoulder blades into your spine. So you can keep your hands here, or for those of you that can clasp, go ahead and clasp your hands. Really push your heart towards your nose. Squeeze your block. Draw your knees towards the wall. Deep breaths. Squeeze your block, lengthen your knees. Try to unbend your hip joint by pushing your pelvis up towards the sky. Take one more breath. And then slowly, slowly bring yourself down. Take your block out to the side. Bring your knees into your chest. And come on to your side. And then push yourself, push away from the floor. Don't pull, push, push, push. Bring yourself all the way up. All right. So let's see, let's get a little fluidity in the body. Come on to all fours. This is where having the support of something underneath your wrist, for those of you that need that. Take your hands underneath you. And then imagine that you have a paintbrush on your tailbone, okay? Like a paintbrush that was dipped in fuchsia pink paint, a paintbrush, and you're gonna paint a strip of paint up and down the wall. And what's gonna do this is the paintbrush that's where your tailbone is. So getting a lot of movement in your pelvis. We locked our pelvis into a position for a while in the beginning of class. Now you're gonna actually move it. You're gonna inhale to paint up the back wall, exhale to paint a strip of paint all the way down to where the floor and the wall meet. Inhale to paint up, open your throat. Exhale to point down. Make this mostly be the pelvis that's moving, keeping the upper ribs away from this. When you come into flexion, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Moving up, moving down. Now bring yourself back to neutral and imagine that paintbrush on the tailbone is going to go side to side. So you're trying to do a horizontal line across the wall. Then let your head be a part of this. Look over one shoulder towards your hip. See if you can see your hip. And bring yourself back to center. Let's come all the way up onto our blanket. Let's do a little lateral chain. So you're gonna take a foot to the side. Toes are pointing forward. We're gonna do gate latch posture. So take your hand down along on your leg. Let's warm up first. We did a little bit of this. I want your hand to go behind your head, elbow up. And then you only do what is appropriate range of motion for you. One more. Keep your hand here. Let's inhale to reach up. Exhale to come back. Inhale up. Let your hand slide down your leg. Feel that stretching your body wherever you feel it. Keep your arm alongside your body, so keep pushing the elbow back. Come up and stay up. Stay here. If you'd like, push your heart forward. Tailbone is pointing down towards the ground. If you'd like to unbend your arm, palm faces over the side, do that. Or keep the arm behind your head. It's your choice. Keep your throat open. Keep your face up. So don't let your face look down towards the ground. Keep that flexion out of the upper spine. Push the heart forward. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out of that. Now, hopefully you're feeling a lot of stretch. I'm feeling a lot of stretch when I do this. So I'm hoping that you're feeling that as well. Stretching our body. Move this so it doesn't get in the way. I just want to move this so that visually it's not in the way of the lines. I want you to see the lines. All right. So you're going to take your hand down alongside your body, and then we're going to inhale up, exhale. So for some, the shoulder doesn't like to lift. You may do this like this. For some of you, if you have a pretty good range of motion, you could even go a little higher. So whatever your body has to give. And then we're going to take the hand behind the head, and we're going to come like this. So the hand position is according to what your needs are. And I really want you to feel that stretch here as you pull the lower ribs away from the pelvis, stretching your torso, the waist area. The next time you come up, stay there. And then you want to make sure that you have that nice long spine that's bending to the side. Push the heart forward, keep the head open. You could take the arm off. Fingers are facing towards the side of that straight leg. Push your heart forward or keep your hand behind your head. Whatever feels like the appropriate stretch for you, keep pushing your arm back. So don't let your arm come forward. Take one more breath and then bring yourself all the way out. So we're going to do a side plank, and side plank can be a really great posture. So you could do side plank or you could do half moon. And we're going to do it near the wall. So if you're going to do side plank, it's definitely a more challenging posture. I'm actually going to move my mat so that it is up against the wall. And move this out of the way. So I'd like to show you side plank in its full expression is this. Okay, this is the side plank posture, and this is pretty intense. So for some of you, you may want to come into the modification of side plank, which is bringing the lower body off the floor, or come into side plank where you have the leg on the ground. So whatever works for you, we're going to come into it for 3 breaths. So let's come into a plank position. Let your feet come together, and then you're going to roll onto the pinky toe edge or whatever other variation you're going to do. Push your heart forward. Take 3 breaths here. And then you're going to bring yourself out. You're going to come to the other side. You roll onto the pinky toe edge and you bring yourself up. Lift your heart forward, be nice and straight in your spine. 3 breaths. And bring yourself out. Come out for a second. If you could sit on your toes like this, sit on your toes. Shake your body. It's one of my favorite things to do against the wall. And that's very supportive for the spine, for posture, and really great for those that get scoliosis or have any kind of dysfunctional patterns in the spine. It's a great way to keep the spine nice and strong. Okay, we're gonna go down onto our bellies to do some lifting ourselves up against gravity. So I think I'm going to turn my mat. Get your blanket. Get your blanket and bring your blanket down towards the bottom part of your mat. And then let your knees be on the blanket. We're going to come through a dolphin plank posture. So you're going to bring your elbows forward. The elbows are right underneath your elbows. You're going to flatten your feet. Palms are on the floor. And then you're going to lift the low back up towards the sky. So come into more of a straight back, more of a flatter lower back. Push the toes into the floor. Push the knees into the floor. Push the elbows into the floor, the forearms into the floor, and the hands into the floor. So really feel that pushing away from the floor with your body. Keep that back, keep the core active. So zipper up the midsection, activate the pelvic floor, and then push the low ribs towards the spine. Keep the low back nice and flat. Tailbones reaching away from you. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself down. This is the Sphinx posture. Let your belly be soft. And then push your rib cage forward. So pull your rib cage away from your pelvis. Push it forward. Feel that stretch in the belly. And then with length, come all the way down. Bring your chin to the floor. Take your arms alongside you. Palms are on the floor. Fingertips are pointing towards your toes. Bring your big toes to touch. Legs are straight. Let the forehead touch the floor. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Slide the elbows towards each other. Forehead touches the floor. Nose touches the floor. Toenails are touching. Toenails are touching the floor and big toes are touching each other. Inhale to lift yourself up away from the floor. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. You inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Last one, inhale to lift and then hold. And then go ahead and bring yourself down. Take your hands alongside your body. They're right by your armpits, maybe a little higher, and they're wide. The thumbs are touching the mat and the fingers are off. Push your hands into the floor. And as you push them into the floor, slide them down towards your feet. You'll feel a little relief in the low back there. Push your hands down, slide them towards your feet. Toes are touching. Inhale to lift your upper body away from the floor. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Push your hands down, slide them back. Let your torso lift itself up. So don't push your hands in. Let the back muscles pull you up. On this next one, you're going to come up and stay up. Stay here. Take your hands away from the floor. If your body lowered, stay where it lowered. Put your hands down, stay here. Take one more breath. And then lower all the way down. One more. Let's take your hands back and clasp them if you can. So if you could clasp them, clasp your hands. If you can't clasp them, hold onto your forearms or your elbows. Or put your hands down alongside your body. Toes are touching, hands are clasped. Inhale to lift everything off the floor. Reach your hands away, lengthen your toes. Nice long body. Feel that back of your body coming into that extension position, pulling and lifting you up against gravity. Compressing your spine, strengthening your vertebra, opening up the front of the body, strengthening the back of the body for alignment, for posture, for balance. Deep breaths down to your belly. Go as strong as you can. One more breath. And then bring yourself all the way down. Keep your hands alongside your body. Turn your head to the right. So the left cheek and the left ear touch the floor. Let your shoulders round forward. Separate your legs, wiggle your pelvis side to side. If there's a lot of tension in your head and neck area, you could slide your right hand out to the side, palm is down. That may help to relieve it. And if that doesn't, you could come higher and bend the elbow. Let go, let go. Feel the heartbeat, close your eyes. One more breath. Tuck your chin down towards your chest. Barely lift your head up away from the floor. Turn it the other direction so the right cheek and the right ear touch the floor. Soften into this. If you need a little relief, you could take your left hand out to the side or bend the elbow. Let your shoulders round forward. That's not something we're usually allowed to do. So here's the opportunity to allow for that real deep relaxation in the shoulders. Deep breaths down to your belly to help release tension in the low back. Last breath. Bring a hand up above, roll onto the side that the hand is up above. Come forward and gently push yourself up to a seated position. So it's time to come into our Shavasana, our final rest, and allow the integration of everything that was done in today's practice to settle into the tissues. I'd like you to get yourself into a position that's comfortable for you. If you do have the chair or sofa or wall that you could let your legs lie up against, that would be really nice. So go ahead and do whatever you need to do to get into your final rest position. Let go, let go, let go. Let yourself come into a deep, relaxed position in your Shavasana. Begin to deepen your breath. Slowly bringing the awareness to the fingers and the toes. Start to bring some movement into your fingers and your toes, to your ankles, to your wrists. And bringing the knees into the body. Rocking side to side. Bring yourself onto the side. And then pushing away from the floor, bring yourself up to a seated position. Sitting nice and tall, lengthening yourself out of your pelvis, bringing your hands to your chest. We'll close with sound, bringing that sound from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. A sound with the lips closed, a humming. Let's take a deep breath all the way down to the belly. Bowing in namaste, gratitude for so many things. And for me in particular, gratitude for the wisdom of yoga to keep our body limber, mobile, strong, open, transmittive, so that when the body's happy, the mind can be happy. So thank you. So hopefully that angle didn't throw you guys off. I know other people. Hi, Stevie. I didn't see you before I moved back. Good morning, Michael. And Nancy and Martha. You're frozen. Oh my gosh. It's a little cold here too. I just talked to my daughter today in the UK, and she is burning up. All right. So I see that it says my connection is unstable. Hopefully you were able to see me today and practice with me. All right. I'm off to prepare for my next class. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you feel great, and I hope you feel functional and aligned. Today's practice had a lot of alignment principles. So thank you so much, and I'll see you when I see you. Oh, screen was frozen. Sorry. Yeah, oh my gosh. Hopefully we're going to get that solved soon. All right. Bye, everyone.